Good morning, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. For a couple of weeks now, I've been promising that I would do my 1-year review of Dart Transit. That's right, as you all know, I have worked for Dart before in the past, for 4.5 years one time, and I returned about a year ago. And so, obviously, there was a few years that passed from the first times that I worked there till the second time when I came back, or technically it's the third time. That's a long story for another day. But anyway, uh, how has things changed since I've been back? I did a 100-day review a while back, and it's time to revisit it now that I've been here a year. You know, I've said before, even recently to guys, that these YouTubers that put out a video after they've been there 30 days or something, it really doesn't give you time to get to know the company and to really have valid comments or concerns about them in most cases. However, after a year, I feel like you've seen them in their good times and their bad times, and I feel like that I can give you a moderate and or not a moderate, a modern and accurate review of the company. So that's what we're going to do today. You guys stay with me and let's jump right into today's topic. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
All right, folks, we're back. Y'all make sure give this video a thumbs up. Share this video on your social media platforms. Down below the description, hit that subscribe button. Wait a few seconds, click that bell, then select all. Then you'll receive free notifications when future videos come out. That's right, it doesn't cost anything to do, and it really helps me out a lot when you subscribe. At the time you see this video, we should be right around 900 subscribers. We're adding about 3 a day, so things are going great. Better things are to come, and I want you to be a part of that. Also, folks, if you look down in the description, you'll see my email, you'll see my Instagram, you'll see my Facebook. Join me on all those places. If you're not comfortable leaving a comment below, send me an email and I'll get back to you just as quick as I can. Now, you guys know my thoughts on Dart Transit. You've been watching me the past year. But after watching this review, if you decide that Dart Transit is a place that you might want to work, I've got my recruiter's information down there. Her phone number's down there. Give her a call. Ask her whatever questions you've got about company driver positions, dedicated positions, over-the-road positions, whatever questions you have. Feel free to contact her or contact me via email, and we'll get back to you just as quick as you can. If you do call her, give her my driver number of 58180. And if she's gone to lunch or she's out for the day, leave her a voicemail with that driver number of 58180, and she'll call you back just as soon as she can. If you get another recruiter, tell them you've been watching Trucker Todd. By now, most of them know who I am, and give them that driver number of 58180. That really helps me out. That, and when you share the videos, and when you subscribe, are the 3 things you could do that help me the most. All right, folks, let's talk about Dart. So, this is really a tough one to do, and I'll tell you why. For a few reasons. There are going to be varying experiences, first of all. Let me explain what I mean. I can do a 10 or 15 minute video, tell you my experience has been great. That doesn't mean that'll be your experience. Your experience could be even better than mine. Your experience could be different than mine. This is just my personal experience. And so I'm going to be honest with you. And in being honest with you, I've got to try to tell you a few negative things about Dart. You guys know I love it here. But if I do a video that's 100% positive review of the company, you're going to know I'm lying, because there's no perfect company. Now, I get people that comment all the time. Well, what about this company? What about that company? What about here? What about this company you used to work for? Folks, if those companies, if I felt they were better, I'd be there. I'm at Dart because I believe Dart is the best place to work. I promote Dart because I believe Dart is the best place to work. And just like when you go to the movies and you see a good movie and you go, wow, that new movie is great, I'm doing the same thing here, folks. The reason I'm telling you it's great is because for me it's great. Now, are there some things that I wish was different? Yes. Are there some things that I don't like? Yes. And we're going to discuss them in this video. But just because I say a few negative things about the company does not mean that I don't like it here. I want to get that disclaimer out there before we do this. Now, you guys, let's start at orientation. Alright, orientation was really quick. They send you a bunch of videos and tests and stuff, and if you take them at home, in some cases you can be done with orientation in one day. And that was the case for me. I did my orientation by like 3:30 that afternoon. I had my truck. Now, the road test the guy I got was super critical, super nitpicky, so I was pretty frustrated. At the end of the road test, I almost walked out of orientation, but I decided to stay, and I'm glad I did. As far as the truck, I got the truck. We were loading our stuff in it. I'll never forget it. It started raining real hard, and the check engine light came on. The first night I had the truck, and so it was the next morning before they could put it in the shop. I spent the night in the truck. Dart covered the repair. It didn't cost me anything, and then I had a load that afternoon. Income wise, in the beginning I made about what the recruiters said I would make, but now I make substantially more than what the recruiters told me I would make. The truck was until recently bulletproof. We had no issues with the truck, other than oil changes. I had an alignment. I got a couple of steer tires over the past year. But overall, the truck's been great. Now you know I'm going through a transmission deal. I hope by Wednesday I can update you further than what I have on Friday. The information I gave you on Friday is the latest information I have available at this time. As you know, the shops, for the dealer, they work like a half a day on Saturday, and they don't really do anything to big jobs like mine, so they haven't really touched the truck since Friday. They'll work on it on Monday. But the truck's been great. It's been fuel efficient, it's been reliable, it's been comfortable. Do I wish it had an APU? And I made one driver at Dart really mad when I said this, but yeah, I wish it had an APU. He emailed me, well, why don't you put one on it? You could just buy one and stick it on there. And yes, I could. Here's the deal with that, though. Something happens. Let's say I back into something and Dart lets me go, or they get a nasty phone call about me and Dart lets me go. I'm going to have to pay to have that APU removed from that truck, and then Dart's going to charge me for the extra holes that are drilled in the truck to install that stuff. They're probably going to want to pull the APU themselves, and they're going to charge me. I've had one installed on a truck before. It's a full day deal. It's an expensive proposition. And so me personally, I would not put an APU on a truck that I was leasing until it was paid off and I had a title in my hand. Now, if Dart offered some type of deal where I could maybe pay a down payment or deposit and get an APU put on a truck, would I be interested in something like that? Most definitely, because I'm not planning on going anywhere. During this 2+ weeks that I've been broke down, I've had numerous calls and emails. Just quit, Todd. Just turn the truck in. Go to another company. Things like that. There's never been a plan to do that. Me and Dart are on great terms right now, as far as I know, and I don't plan to quit or go anywhere. I love it here. I guess that's where people get hung up on this stuff, because I can say I wish the truck had an APU, and some of you guys think, well, if he doesn't get every single thing he wants, he should quit. Whereas I'm thinking, no matter how great you get, there's always room for improvement. So, as far as the truck goes, it's great. Now, let's talk about safety. Safety, as you know, I had some issues with for a little while. I had a safety advisor that I felt like was micromanaging me. I felt like he was out to get me. That situation has resolved itself. It's no longer a problem. I got moved to another safety advisor, and he and I were doing great as far as I know. I found out Friday was his last day. So I'll be honest with you, I don't know who my safety advisor is right now, but the micromanagement and things that I had a problem with has got resolved. Now, while I'm on that, let me bring this up. Over the past year, if you've been watching the videos, you know from time to time, Dart and I have bumped heads a couple of times. Now, that doesn't mean that they're a bad company. That doesn't mean I'm an unreasonable driver. In this line of work, there's going to be room for disagreement. And the key is how open-minded you are to a solution, and how open-minded the company is, and how well they listen. You've seen me and Dart work through numerous issues and come to a reasonable understanding that we all can live with. To me, that's a plus, because every single one of us has worked for a company where we didn't feel like we were appreciated, where we didn't feel like we were listened to. And I do feel like Dart appreciates me and listens to me. So on that, I think they're great. Now let's talk about maintenance. The maintenance department, road ready, things like that. I think, and I've said this in a few videos, the strongest department at Dart is the maintenance department. The VP of maintenance is a guy that I've talked to numerous times on the phone. He's a great guy with great intentions, and he's been very helpful to me, and he's one of the reasons I've survived here a year so far, offering me great advice and great help when I reached out to him. Now, let's talk about road ready. Man, I have never worked for a company where you call and you get somebody on the phones that knows trucks as well as they do. They've even got remote diagnostics where if you say, hey, my truck's doing this, they can look at it and give you a pretty good idea of what it is. And so it's real helpful. Now, you might remember in the last couple of days we had an incident where they called this dealer where my truck is now and said the DEF quality sensor they felt like was going out. And I had taken it in for a transmission issue. Initially, I was upset until that vice president of maintenance that I just mentioned to you called me and said, hey, here's why we did it. And he sent me a screenshot of all the codes that sensor had pulled up. And he said, we're just trying to prevent you from a breakdown later on that we could go ahead and catch while it was in the shop. So it turned out to be a situation where I appreciated them jumping in and helping me right there. And so again, that's another kudos to that department. What a strong department, and really a great benefit to the drivers here. I would hope even after the truck is paid off that I could call them for advice or questions or things like that, and I feel pretty confident I can. Now let's talk about my fleet manager. I really like her. She's in Sellersburg, Indiana. I went there, met her, met the terminal manager. They're great people. I think of them kind of like a fullback in football. And this is a great analogy. Like you're the running back, you're carrying the ball, they're blocking for you. And that's basically what I feel like my fleet manager does. She removes a lot of problems before I even have to face them. And so she ends up saving me a lot of time. I can shoot her an email if I've got a payroll concern or a question about something, and usually she can get me an answer or steer me in the right direction. So I don't have any issues there. for those of you that do have a problem with your fleet manager, I would encourage you to make sure that there's a good line of communication there. And if you just reach an impasse where you can't work with somebody, you guys know I had a fleet manager earlier this year for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, that I just couldn't get a good line of communication with, and I switched off of her. It's not something that DART or any company likes to do, but sometimes they realize it's necessary to do. And if you're calm and communicate well and can present your things in a good way, then your chances of success are going to be better than the guy that huffs and puffs and threatens people and cusses people out and things like that. Now let's talk about the equipment. I alluded to it earlier. I said, hey, the truck has been great. It's been bulletproof until recently. I still consider it a great truck with the transmission problems. It's still a great truck. But let's talk about the trailers. The trailers are outstanding. Now, in the old days when I worked for DART, we used to joke dragging around ratty trailers. And it was kind of a thing that we drivers laughed about. And that's no longer the case. They have great trailers. Again, goes back to that VP of maintenance and the staff at the shops. They really work hard trying to have a low CSA score and keeping the trailers in great condition. And so, do I ever have a problem with any trailer anywhere? Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Lights go out. Occasionally there'll be a flat tire or something like that. But overall, the trailers are in great condition. The last company I worked for prior to DART, there would be holes in the roof, tires flat, and I mean 2 or 3 on a trailer, holes in the sidewalls, doors that had big gaping holes through them, and DART doesn't have any of those issues that I've seen personally. So, equipment, really great. Now, terminals. I've videoed several terminals over the past year, and I think you guys know that the terminals are really nice. If you hadn't watched those videos, go back and watch the one I did in Ellenwood, Georgia. Watch the one I did in Lancaster, Texas. As a matter of fact, when you get done watching this video, just type DART in your search engine on your YouTube page and just watch some of those videos. Great facilities, well maintained. Trash cans are usually empty, plenty of room to throw trash, and the restrooms are clean. And so that's something that a lot of you guys at other companies can't say, but I feel really comfortable saying that about DART. Now let's talk about recruiting. We really need to wind this video up. We're going long, I know, but I'm trying to keep it short for you guys. Recruiting. You guys know I love my recruiter, working with her. She's great to the drivers. She doesn't pressure anybody, and she really loves answering your questions. And so I hope you guys will give her a call. I work real well with, I know several of the recruiters over there, but I mostly work with her, and we work real well together, and she can make you have a seamless transition if you're wanting to come to DART and give them a shot. But anyway, as you see, we're up near 20 minutes now, and I could go another 30 minutes talking about all the things I love at DART. Maybe some of you other DART drivers that watch this video could put some comments below about things you like about DART. Or some of you guys that have questions about DART, feel free to give me an email, and I'd be happy to discuss it with you a little more. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. You guys have a great day. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll be back Wednesday, hopefully with the conclusion to the repair portion of my 2019 Kenworth T680. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.